Well, good afternoon. I'm Councilmember Jeff Blubaugh, and today I'm joined by City Engineer Gary Janzen. Welcome, Gary.
Thank you, Councilmember. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day out there, so.
It is. First break we've had this week.
It's nice, we got a little bit of moisture, and now the sun's shining, and just beautiful weather out there. So today we want to talk about something that's very important to me, as well as I know it is to you, and that's the improvements along West Street. So West Street is a major city connector. Some of the folks from the state have, identified it as kind of the iron workhorse for the entire state of Kansas. And the Community Investment Plan has identified West Street corridor from Kellogg to 47th Street South as a major job growth area, which will mean an increase in freight and commercial traffic. We know a lot of people use this stretch of road, so if you have any questions about it, please post them below. And Gary, could you tell us a little bit more about the West Street project?
Yeah, sure. So currently West Street is 4 lanes, as was seen on the video. We're going to reconstruct between Harry and McCormick to 5 wider lanes. As you mentioned with the what's in the Community Investments Plan, there is a heavy presence of commercial and freight vehicles along this corridor that we're expecting to increase over time. In fact, if you look at the percentage of trucks on most of our arterial streets, this West Street corridor south of Kellogg carries almost twice the daily amount of trucks as anywhere else. So our project will widen the lanes by providing a center left turn lane and wider turning radiuses at the intersections. We're going to make it a lot easier for that truck traffic to find their way in and out of the area. We're also going to provide drainage improvements, pedestrian enhancements with sidewalk on both sides. There's currently a traffic signal at Walker that will be upgraded. And I mentioned the pedestrian enhancements also at Walker and Harry also.
Well, that's great, Gary. When do we see some of this work going to start on this project?
So we've got a contractor ready to go. They're planning to start construction the week of May 25th, right after Memorial Day, and we're expecting it to take about a year for complete build out.
So infrastructure is a key pillar of focus for the city. The road is a high traffic area and many people use it. During rush hours, you definitely see the bottlenecks and stuff through there. So I think it'll help. We're also seeing a lot of big trucks coming in and out. So that middle turn lane, I think, is going to be something everyone can utilize. How much does a project like this cost? And, a lot of folks outside are wondering because of all everything going on. We're looking at budget cuts and shrinking down our budget. How are we getting money to do such a big project like this?
So the construction bid for this project was right around $4.4 million. It was funding that was already allocated in our capital improvement plan. The funding specifically for this project is from our local sales tax revenue. That is a dedicated funding stream for freeway and arterial street improvements across our community on a lot of the projects we do similar to this. The citizens voted for that with the sales tax referendum in 1985, so it's our commitment to honor that, to continue using that funding specifically for these types of projects. And what that also does is it frees up general obligation funding, which is an area that you mentioned we'll need to take a close look at going forward with the current environment that we're in. But it frees up some of that funding for other necessities, park improvements, facilities. We're looking at several new police substations, heavy equipment replacement, and things like that.
Well, Gary, I think it's been probably over four to 5 years since you and I started discussing this and looking at this project, and we kind of wanted it to align with the 235 Kellogg improvements that were over there. That was a major investment for the state, and obviously we wanted to take care of this West Street corridor. So I appreciate all the work that you guys have done to put this together, and I know there's got a lot of industrial business over there that's certainly going to appreciate it, as well as there's some retail, and we got the Foley investment and a lot of other businesses that have kind of grown up over there. So we definitely like seeing that.
Yeah, we're ready to get started. I might mention real quick that there's more improvements coming on the West Street corridor. We were recently awarded $12 million in federal funding to continue south around the Pawnee K42 interchange, and going south from 235. And if anybody's been down there, KDOT's got a project currently that's making some improvements to 235 and West Street. So there's a lot going on this corridor, and there's more coming.
So I appreciate you bringing that up because that intersection of West Street, Pawnee, you've got so many streets connecting down there. And, you know, that's something that is never really been designed right. And I'm sure there's a lot of design opportunities. Do we know exactly what we're looking at, or do we have an idea as to what that could possibly look like for that intersection?
Not quite. We're getting closer. I had personally a notion at one time that we could try to put in a roundabout there. There's some significant challenges with that when we started looking at with our engineers and designers, just the geometrics and how some of the things come together. There's really a challenge. You know, that area doesn't work terrible right now, but I know we can make some improvements. We have looked at multiple iterations, and I think we're finally about at a point where we want to be. Getting the added federal funding, almost $8 million, will be a real added bonus for that project to get it done the way we need to get it done long term.
Okay. Well, thanks for all that great information. You know as well as anyone, you know, and we all know construction's a pain, but the construction is also a sign of progress, and it's a lot of positive progress we've got going on there on the west end of town. I'd much rather endure a year of minor inconvenience from construction and enjoy a smooth, faster commute for generations to come, as well as, you know, lower accidents, a much safer area. So at this time, we'd like to open it up. Do we have any questions out there?
We do. Will the public still be able to drive West Street during construction?
So during construction, we'll maintain one lane in each direction. It's never ideal to be a little bit tighter squeezed, especially with the trucks in there. We're going to try to limit left turns at Harry and see how that goes, because what happens when you go to one lane each direction, and if you get one car in there wanting to make a left turn lane during the peak hours, we could end up queuing traffic back all the way to Kellogg. So we'll keep a close eye on that, but traffic will be maintained through construction at all times.
Okay. Any other questions?
So one more. So this isn't specifically related to West Street, but if someone sees a pothole or a stretch of road that they think needs some maintenance, how can they report that to the city?
So the best way is through Access Wichita, which is basically replaced the old Wichita Report app, but through Access Wichita, there's a place on there that can be done really quick and easy. It goes directly to our maintenance staff, and they're really good at responding. And you know, we've got a pretty good record to responding to those within 24 hours most of the time.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and thanks Gary for joining me today and help us out with this great infrastructure improvement for the west side of Wichita, and appreciate everything that you guys do. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.